It's February. It's the month of love. Or as we may know it, Valentine's is coming soon, like in 3-4 days. I don't know, whenever we shall be watching this. But today we are going to reminisce on those stories of, the Lululand, the things that made you happy, those blockbusters, the break dealers. We're really just going to talk about just stories, nothing serious, just stories, thinking about how we thought love looked like, what it is now, and what actually. Do we believe in love?
Well,
I'll pose the question. And before I actually go on, my name is Rosemary, and I will be having this discussion with the most beautiful people I know on earth. Hi, Gloria.
Hi, Rose.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Rose.
So I'll just pose this question to you, Kathy. Very interesting one. What is that moment, up to this moment, you go back to and you're like, what just happened here? Like, what just happened?
There was a time I met somebody and I could say he ticked all other boxes. But then when it reached time to go and have some dinner, his table manners were a complete turn off. And I asked myself, how on earth could someone come out looking this good?
Was it the chewing? How they were eating?
The chewing, how they were eating. He would literally want to talk with food full in his mouth. And I was like, God, first chew, swallow, then talk to me. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here. But then...
Was that a deal breaker for you?
I blocked him before I could leave the table.
Did you?
I lost my appetite. And I was like, God, why?
Did you have a conversation with him?
No.
They blocked him before they left the table.
Bambi. At least you give feedback. You tell him, Bond, you eat badly.
I didn't know how to.
I don't think there is something
And this
like
was a person that was so full of himself.
Bambi, you give guys feedback. Otherwise, I feel like when you're dating someone, in as much as you may never end up with them, you're preparing them for something better.
We
Can't
were
they
not
just do
yet
charity?
that comfortable.
Do charity and tell someone you
And
eat badly.
I didn't have the guts to tell him that. I honestly didn't.
But you see, there are some habits that you are raised with that at certain ages, you just can't change. Let's talk about chewing, eating. I don't think it's something that someone easily change at adulthood. When you are 30 years, no one can tell you stop snoring. Okay, sorry, that's a reflex action.
That sounds personal.
But
anyway, this is what I'm saying. Bambi, I feel like when you identify something wrong with someone, tell them. It may be so hard, but it may be the reason as to why they're having a replica of failed relationships. But I'll pause you right there. So, Gloria, what's that moment where you're just like, what just happened?
well, thank God for me. I haven't really had that moment of what just happened. But for my friend, Sarah, dear friend, I thought really on that date. She really didn't want to go for that date. She didn't like the guy that much. And I told her, you're just a mean person. Let's go see that guy. So we went to a restaurant.
So you were third wheel?
A third wheel. They were talking. She's a little bit mean, but well, I couldn't understand it. But kept on telling her, you have to be a little bit nice. Well, forgive me, I was giving advice on a date. And the very worst thing that happened, the guy slipped his phone number on paper under the table to me. That was I think the very lowest thing I had ever seen someone do on a date, however much bad a person is. And well, I never came out to say that, but he slipped his number.
He gave you his number?
His number, yes,
when
under the table. When my friend is there, I had the thing peep me and I picked it and then I put it on the table. I'm like, what's this?
My
It's like,
days.
I'm so embarrassed. I can embarrass you. It's like, I heard where you work. I thought maybe we could talk more. We could help
Was your
each
friend
other.
there?
She was, and she knows me. I am a little bit straightforward. And I was like, this was very unkind. He's like, no, for business. And
Why
for
did
me
he have to,
to do that, I think because I was nice on that day. I think I was the nicest person
Every
on
time I
that
tell
day.
myself there is a low, these guys hit the low.
No, that low was really too low even for me. And I'm sure even God approves. That's the lowest man can go. You cannot do that to any human being. So for me, that was the lowest I could see a guy go. But thank God it wasn't me. But
Okay, so for my side, there is this one time. This story may be embarrassing, but doesn't say anything about me. That's a disclaimer. I'm a good person, a good woman. But anyway, this guy asked me out on a date. Let's say I was in my first year at campus, MOOC, and my hostel was around Wandegea, but I had never been to CJ's. I know what you're all thinking, but I mean, if you grew up
no judgment.
around town, we're never allowed to move, by the way. You just had to stay home. So the very first time we're out of our parents' clothes was when we were at hostel.
True.
So this person asks me out. Is like, hey, I want to take you on a date. It was new to me. I was excited. I was happy. I even prepared like an outfit. Munangenga, they take me to CJ's Boulevard. So rich. First and foremost, I don't know. I didn't have the concept of prices of things for a long time. So literally, I just looked at the menu and looked for something I wanted, something to do with chicken meat, flashy picture. I'm like, I'll eat this, I'll take this. Or with Dries, Amore is a plain watermelon person. So I made my order, he made his order, and we were rhyming, we were okay. So when they brought in the food, the good girl, I prayed and we did it.
Did you scare the guy away with your prayer?
No, it's not the prayer. It's within, I think it was on the first or second fork when he asked a question about, I think it was about my family, or it was, he wanted to know me generally. So I kind of pointed to my mouth that I have a mouth full of food, but let me swallow and I give you an answer. So I did that, and then when I swallowed, I gave him the answer. He was just like, really? But I realized the whole time he had never tasted his food. It's just, oh, I ate so fast.
I
Why
think
had
you
to
were
wait?
hungry.
I don't know if they were rules. I wasn't hungry. Lord.
You were not hungry, but maybe you were excited for Javas.
I wasn't excited. God, I was excited. But it was my first time.
She finally accepts that she was excited.
Excited.
It was my first time in that place, and the food was tasty as well. But you're like changing the
Maybe
narrative.
he was amazed at the sight
of what?
It's amazing to take someone out and you see them really enjoying what they're doing.
and they're
Eating.
not even paying for it.
Exactly.
So generally, Bambi, I eat the food, I chew, I swallow, I jazz. So I stopped eating. I'm like, okay, let's have the conversation. And then he took a fork and started eating. So I also continued. Then he asked me a question with a mouthful. I couldn't answer and told him.
Bad timing.
Child, the guy looked at me and told me, I brought you here. You're just eating my food and you don't want to talk to me.
What?
He was right.
I kid you not, he stood up and walked out of CJ's and left me at CJ's with my food, his drinks, my drinks. First, my heart hit kaboom, kaboom. But since I was like, I mean, I'm free with my dad. Let me just call my dad.
Hold on. You're trying to say he didn't clear the bill before he
No,
left?
he didn't clear the bill. I'm saying, when I say he stood up and left, like he
Do we
stood
know
up
his name?
and-
Could
and-
we name him?
No,
So that we serve the next
no,
generation.
Bambi. He's married now. So
Oh, well.
whoever he got married to,
We wish you the
wish them
best.
luck. And if you've noticed with time, men will actuate with the people they like. So maybe I wasn't just their person. He stood up, left me with the food. I called my dad. Long story short, Bambi, his offices were close by, Luwogo. He drove down, paid for the bill. So I ate what I ate, packed his food, and went back to
Well,
hostel.
glad you
But
packed.
this is the deal breaker. The person called me later on in the evening. And I picked up because I really wanted to hear what they were going to say. And this was their opening statement. The next time
Mm-hmm.
The next time I take you on a date, you better talk to me. And I was thinking, I don't know what gave this person an impression that I will be here next time. But from where I seated, there was never anything of that sort. But for me, up till this day, that's the story I go back to, and I was like, what just
Did you
happened here?
confront him? Did you quarrel? Did you question his behavior? Because I think
I'm
even
also
though
wondering, how
I have,
patient can you be?
even though I am a
not
bad
patient.
person, I wouldn't do that to any human
You
being.
know me like that. I'm not confrontational. Like, I'll literally walk away with a funny situation.
Because
Walk
look
out,
at
sorry.
me, who
That
comes
can
from
never
very
be
far.
me.
Who would have saved me? My dad had to board the bus from currently a bill. I was about to get a job in Java.
I don't even know. I don't know what I would have done by the if I didn't have my dad in those shenanigans. But anyway,
Do you ever think about that? What if you had no one to call?
Yeah.
What would you have done?
I don't
Because
know.
I think me, if I were you, even that phone call that he made after you getting home, I don't know, I would have never picked him up. I would never pick
Me
it
too.
up. I wouldn't.
You'd be shocked that things
Because
happen.
there's
I
a
would probably
possibility
pick
I'll probably be in prison.
I have a feeling he was calling to see if I had a bad experience.
Or
And
maybe
I wasn't about to give a person.
Did he?
that
Or
kind
maybe
of-
he thought you had like a plan B, like another boyfriend. That's why you were not listening to him.
Which one?
So for how long had
People
you
had
guys
just
been
dropped.
talking?
I had just dropped from high school. Like, I had just dropped. Like, boom, and this person was in the same school with
You
me.
see, in high school, people were getting pregnant.
Oh yeah.
They were those. Child, I didn't know how to make children until like almost
That's
second
deep.
year or you put a joke, but you can be oblivious in a time when there is so much information. I won't even share
Actually,
that
now
from-
that reminds me, I have been in a relationship before, but I wouldn't really call it a relationship. You know, where people want you to assume you're into something. So me, if someone doesn't outrightly come out and ask, would you like to be my girlfriend or would you like to be this? I'm the last person that you'd actually assume. So I hate situationships. You never catch me in one.
they'll never carry along.
No, you don't
Now for me,
carry
I
me
think that's,
along.
that's something I took so
Long.
long to learn.
And now me no one will drag me one. So I met this guy. He never outrightly said, can I date you or anything? But he was doing all the other duties assigned to him by the Lord to provide. So I was glad I had a
Thank the Lord.
sponsor. I thanked the Lord. And we all know, if you know me well, I like my food. I like to eat my food. So every time I would be hungry, I'd be call him up because he looked like a sponsor. Because he was a good friend. He didn't look like there were any benefits we're expecting. You get? I would call, I'm like, I'm hungry. He delivers food. I'm hungry. We go grab food. And when I'm done eating, I'm actually done. I want to go home.
You didn't
So
have
it went
conversation.
on.
No, look at me. You didn't have conversation.
No, we did not have that
Did
kind
you
of.
use this man for food?
Well, let's just say one day. I think we had been 1 month in the food relation. So we go now. I called him actually this time. I'm like, oh, I'm hungry. Oh, I had called him for food. Oh, I ate his food. So I call him and I'm like, I'm hungry. He's like, you know what? Yes, I'll pick you up and we go and eat. I'm like, I wasn't expecting any less. So we went for food. And we sat through the food and we ate. And then amidst the eating, he's like, by the Gloria, I do not like how you act. I'm like, well, do explain, my darling, do explain. I think you are using me for food. I'm like, why would you
look at you right now?
No, I asked him, why would you think that?
And I think we as ladies have all done that at one point.
No,
You all
but-
have used
but
people
no,
for food.
why would he think that?
Because Gloria, you were there for the food. You
literally
get to
never
a point
had
in your life where you
conversation.
admit.
No, we
You've
had
done.
conversation, but we did not have the kind of conversation that he actually wanted. You get? He was a good man, that I can't deny. But you guys, he's a good provider. Food.
Okay, so
We ate
let's-
the food, and then he told me, I just want to make this very
I want to
plain.
take this conversation off
It
camera
is over.
because there are things, details around it that I really want to know.
Please
But,
do
and
shoot your
when we
shot.
actually get to know these details,
Do
we
shoot
can
your
come
shot.
back and actually discuss them. Because really, I think you're a good person, Gloria. And
Do
whether
not
this
think
guy
it. No, wait. No, wait. I am a good.
think.
She knows I'm a good person,
Gloria,
and
you
I
are
am a good person.
You're a good woman.
And this guy broke up with me, but we were not dating. But he said I was using him for food. He walked away off the date, but unlike you, he cleared the bill, and I packed the remaining food. I went home, and I never heard from
you
him.
know, you didn't have to hit me like that.
No, I didn't have to, but you said I was a good person. I just had to emphasize I'm a nice person.
Okay. So just to be clear, Gloria, were you using this guy for food? Now look in the camera, like just look in the camera.
Hi, people. I'm sure I can't believe that coming from. I mean, look at this face.
No, Gloria, be honest. Did you use this guy for food?
Do I look like I used this guy for food?
To me, yes.
Hold the thought, all of you. You're going to have a very short break, and we'll be right back. Back to story time with Sesface. Gloria, while we kind of cut off, we had confirmed that you were really using the guy for
We
food.
did
We
confirm.
confirmed.
We did
We
confirm.
confirmed.
Gloria, you're a good Christian.
We did
You're just
confirm.
not
I
accepting
shall
the
be a good
fact.
Christian in Lent period, but Lord, we are almost there. But let's be honest. He
Gloria,
didn't come outrightly to tell me what his intentions were.
But you kept on eating the
action-
food without him. You remember what we started from? Gloria said, I'm not the one person you carry along.
I know.
I want someone to outwardly say,
Say what
this
they
is
want.
this is what
He
I want.
wanted a
But why
relationship.
do
I
you keep
wanted
eating
food.
the food.
Oh, I said
Even
it.
she just said it. Thank you. I think we shall pause it right there and we go to the next beat. I think what I would really want to hear from all of us. What's that one thing that being young you thought about relationship or how love should be or how you should be treated? What were your expectations? That one thing that you really held on to and you're like, if I'm dating, the guy is going to do this. Oh, we are going to do this together.
Can I go
this
first?
is Gloria, since we just had a food issue, breathe. Breathe.
Okay.
Breathe. Okay, Kathy, pick us up with some Delulu moments.
I really, really liked the movies so much, but then I wasn't really allowed to go anywhere at that time. My brothers were so strict. They couldn't even let me.
Your brothers.
Yeah. So it's just, I'm old enough, just so you know, and don't start counting my age.
Okay.
We are not counting.
It's just a recent that I've started having my movie dates. But girl,
You like, okay.
So the movies, probably little picnics. Oh,
Have you done a picnic before? Like a date picnic and stuff like that?
Would you like
Of
Shaw's
course.
photos?
no.
Are they like crispy? Like the snacks you ate on the picnic?
It's like romantic. It's a very
The
romantic
things
thing.
we would watch in the movies, those are the things that I would literally want. And I think it's only once that I did have to get that kind of movie kind of thing. It was just once. Probably now, but the movies, the picnics. Ooh.
Gloria, I need to voice that. When
Well,
someone affirm, when someone's jazzing things you've not gone through, affirm.
how about if I cry? Because I'm in pain.
Because you may not have experienced certain feelings,
That's
but
the
just say,
point. That's what I'm saying. What if I
And then
cry?
I always wanted somebody to just surprise me while at school with probably a birthday cake and some few gifts.
Did you ever get that?
Of course.
You did.
But
Okay.
it's unfortunate.
So
that the-
school, we are talking about what school? Are you like secondary?
No.
Gloria,
Yeah.
Gloria.
We have to be straight about these things because she said we shouldn't count her age.
Please don't. That was
No.
at campus.
I think it's okay to
In my
have your own.
year one,
But
year two,
right now are
No.
those things that can still shift you.
they're still the same things for me.
Wow.
Young
Yeah.
at heart.
That's being...
Still the same things for me, and they'll never change. And if my man is not doing those things,
You're out.
You want the
I'm
movie?
out.
You want the picnic?
I want the movies, I want
Well,
the picnics,
dear
I want the
man.
dinner dates.
Kathy here.
I want my man to hold my hand.
Especially on Monday.
Monday night movies.
Very
You
cheap.
can go binge watching.
10
I want my
p.m.
man to hold
10
my hand
p.m.
as we're
to
walking
morning.
out.
free popcorn.
Are you serious? They give you popcorn.
No, they
Yeah.
don't. You
What do
see,
they do?
I wanted to actually align you to the fact that you actually also like free
How
things.
cheap are those movies?
You like free food. You use people.
It's
You
usually
take someone for
about
popcorn.
It's
Now
not
you,
using.
you just have free
Everyone buys
popcorn.
their popcorn at the movies.
But you excited
Yeah.
about the idea of free popcorn.
No, you said free popcorn. I was like, do they give free popcorn? Because at this rate, they weren't going to take myself for this movie. So I need to know what
When you
comes
take
with it.
yourself, it's okay. But then there's a different feeling.
When someone says I booked tickets.
And there is seat number 14, next seat number 13.
And then
there are
they're
those
just in there,
seaters,
holding
that-
hands, watching a movie. Girl,
I think when you're watching a nice one. Gloria,
even if it's not a nice one.
besides food, shock us that you're kind of romantic, darling.
Well, me and my friend Tasha, hi
Hmm.
Tasha, we have read romantic books, guys. Judith McNaught, Daniel Steele,
You don't say, keep
Nora
going.
Roberts,
Bring it on.
Joseph Moyes.
Uh-huh.
We have read them all books.
Wow.
Aura is waiting for a mat to come out of the book. I have been thinking, I haven't forgotten the girl's name, but I have always hoped I am her. I am a
Wow.
Grace Kelly.
A billionaire.
Without a personality disorder. No,
First,
no.
let's first go through that. The storyline with those guys is a rich guy and this girl is in love. She
Well,
doesn't
with
want him.
Matt, it was a different thing. It was the rich girl. It was the rich girl.
So you were the rich girl in the. Okay.
Yeah,
Keep going.
I'm just saying, do not take this very
You have a long
personal.
way to go, but
But
let's
I am
go.
saying, I have read books. I've read romantic books, and I have really watched rom-coms, and I've always had this imagination about men, the kind that sweeps you off the ground, the kind where you go floating, the kind where they book the whole of Acacia Mall, and you're the only one with access to it.
A saxophone
Well, like I said,
Ketos.
I'm still waiting.
and a whole band.
I'm still waiting. Oh well, the Kanye West Kim Kardashian proposal.
A whole
Booking a
football
hall
pitch.
and having an orchestra, like, okay. But like I said, I have read them in the books.
So that's where your mind was at the whole time.
Well, when I walk into a relationship, I am very expectant about certain things. But I've also come to realize with a man, some men are not wired like that. You have to communicate your needs. You have to tell a man, and sometimes it's very
But why did
exhausting.
the novelists tell
have
us
to
that
tell
these
someone
guys
what-
Except it's
know?
very exhausting to tell someone that
Not
I'm a
just
movie person,
sometimes.
surprise me for a movie, or surprise me with money.
Oh.
You get, it's very hard because you look like a beggar, especially if you're making your own
Aren't
money.
you,
Because
though?
yeah, you are.
Even if
Especially
you're making
don't-
your own money, the
even
money
though
that
you're
comes
making
from
your
your man
own
is always
money,
the best.
yes,
Oh my
even when you make
God.
more money than him,
If
him
my man is not
working,
giving me money.
exactly, he
You know,
wears
Gloria, you
money.
managed to draw us off balance. What is that Kawan thing? That Kawan thing, which you, Bambi, you had hopes that this Kawan, it has to happen. Food.
I'm
What?
better
What is
than
it?
that.
What?
I am better than food, but unfortunately for me, I am very simple. I like thoughtfulness. I want to be surprised 24/7 all the time. I want to be at work and I receive food.
Thank you for the thought. Like Bambi, food.
No, I want to be at office. I receive breakfast, and I want to be
It's still
there
food.
at the end of
And you receive
and at
lunch.
like suddenly someone calls me like, "Hi, I just thought about you. Here's hair money, self-care money." Or hi,
Money.
I'm like, hi, I'm so stressed. This and this happens. I'm just like, you know what? I'm booking you a flight.
You for the Lululand is nice.
So, no.
When you said you
Darling,
are simple, I expected something. Now, but
I
I
know.
for me, like a thing that was always in my head.
No, you guys, I read
Did
a
you
lot
did
of
you
books.
read Pride and Prejudice?
I did. I didn't
Remember
like
that
it.
last walk when Mr. Darcy came and in the sun, and you know when all hope was
I want
lost.
the
when,
universe to unite like that.
yeah,
They
and then
work for
she
me.
was over in the farm, and she saw him. They saw each other. Then they ran towards each other. Like Have you guys
Guys,
read that
I
book?
need that kind of thing. The notebook
Said
kind of
how?
ending.
Oh my
You
God.
get
I think
like
for me, the thing that I always used to think about, simple as it may be, I love water, like lakes, whatever,
one day
seashore,
you drown.
or like.
How are you doing on the water if you're not a fish?
So for me, it was the beach thing. But when Gloria said I could drown,
Did you change your mind?
who hurt you?
A few people.
You just spoiled my moment. A stroll.
But would you
on the
really want a
beach,
show?
holding hands,
Have you
I
been
hear
to
you.
Ugandan beaches? You see how
and with
dirty
people
they
recording
are.
us, and with a kawaii dressing, the wind is blowing.
I
That's
know.
like a book
like,
I
and
read.
then
Some
you're
real
walking
nice
in
hair,
like slow motion.
human hair when it's
Yeah.
all flying.
You may think it's a book.
I think that is the ending of Grey, 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah,
When Anne was working with.
the 4th chapter.
That was it.
We shall leave a link to the books, but they were nice to read, and they really formed our
Well,
opinions
looks like
about.
looks like I'm not the only one reading books and counting on them.
Any books or movie you'd want to leave with us today? You're saying there is no movie that speaks to you about love?
No.
Gloria, books and movies.
Well, it's a whole list
Look
of
straight
books.
into that camera.
It's a whole list of books.
Mm-hmm.
Any day, anytime I go for a rom-com, but movies, I wouldn't go for movies. I prefer a book and a hard copy. So
Book titles.
any Judith McNaught, any Daniel Steele, Jojo Moyes, anything Nora Roberts, Nicholas Sparks. I mean,
Okay. And besides every other person, for me, I'll just leave you with this car movie that I've always wanted for the obvious reasons. Titanic. And that was all from us this
I
this
think you
nice
are
day.
like my dad's cousin. Why would you like Titanic?
I mean, did you see that last part when Bambi Rose was like on that? Thank you for joining us in our story time with Safe Space, and we'll be back with more of those conversations. Thank you.